Hi everybody, welcome to our Thursday, good heavens, Thursday, the 1st of February, birthday month, and a big thanks to our sponsor, 5-Star Marine. That's 5-Star Marine, Phuket.com. More about them later, but the big news from yesterday was the result, the hand down of the decision by the Constitutional Court. And it says that the Charter Court has ordered Pita and the Move Forward Party to stop pushing for less majest law reform. Now, Cowside English had an excellent rolling sort of Facebook feed going through all the main aspects of this story as it was unfolding yesterday. The Constitutional Court ruled Wednesday afternoon that the Move Forward Party and its then leader, Pita Limjaroenrat, have violated the Constitution by seeking to overthrow the political system by pledging to the electorate to amend the Royal Defamation Law, which will reduce protection of the monarchy. Well, that's their thinking, but what does this mean for Move Forward? The Charter Court argues that violating lese majeste law affects national security, but the Move Forward Party seeks to reduce the severity of the crime and have the intention of separating the monarchy institution from the nation, because if amended as proposed by the party, royal defamation crime will no longer be a crime against national security. Okay, so quite a lot to unpack there. Let's go to this feed, and it says, the court thus ordered Pita and the party to stop advocating for lese majeste law reform through all means, but didn't punish Pita and the party further. So you've been bad boys, but we're not going to punish you specifically. And then Private Rojana Pruk, who's the main writer in English at Cowside English and excellent journalist, said the Charter Court ordering Pita and the Move Forward Party to stop pushing for lese majeste law reform but not dissolving the party or banning Pita from politics is a compromised Thai way of handling the issue. It prevents massive street protests, but issue won't go away. Well, that's Prawit's analysis, and I think he's pretty well spot on. Let's go to some reporting from BangkokPost.com. Experts assess fallout from Move Forward Party ruling. I think the Bangkok Post has seen the ruling and gone, who can we get for an analysis? And just gone through their teledecks and found anybody, because the people they spoke to don't seem to have anything to do with politics or law reform. And the Constitutional Court ruling shouldn't affect government stability or tourism industry. And this is according to the Tourism Council of Thailand president. So sure, he's the first person you'd go to for a comment about constitutional law. And he said despite the political situation in Thailand, international tourism demand will not fall off unless there's severe violence. Political reform? What about the tourism? Then they spoke to the honorary president, not even the president, of the Thai Rice Exporters Association, because that's definitely the second person I'd be speaking to. And they said it's too soon to predict the impact or the consequences of the court ruling. He said if there are legal efforts to seek the dissolution of the Move Forward Party and political bans for its leaders over the stance of the monarchy, it could lead to demonstrations and political unrest. And then he went further, saying this could have repercussions for tourism, exports, the country's credibility, as well as stocks and capital markets. Okay, so let's go through our teledecks. Here's the third person we'll get to comment. And the head of macro and wealth research at CGS CIMB Securities said if the court ruling on Wednesday eventually leads to the dissolution of the Move Forward Party, the resulting negative sentiment could hurt the Thai stock market. And he said it shows Thailand's politics remain unstable. We still have a political structural problem that must be resolved. Even if the Move Forward Party wins the next election, there may be problems arising from today's ruling. So all jokes aside, I think these people have made some fair comments, and I think that last sentence really is important. It's sort of been a ruling without necessarily being a ruling. Let's go to ThaiPBSWorld.com. Court's ruling will impact on democracy, rights and liberties of Thais. And the Move Forward Party said it had no intention whatsoever to undermine the monarchy, and the Constitutional Court's ruling today, that's yesterday, will not only impact the party but also democracy in Thailand, as well as the rights and liberties of people. And both the party leader and the former party leader, who is Pita, jointly made the above statement in response to the Constitutional Court's ruling that the party's campaign to amend the Lèse Majesté law, that's Article 112 of the Criminal Code, constitutes an attempt to topple constitutional monarchy, and ordered the party to cease all activities related to Lèse Majesté law. There is a lot to unpack there, and clearly it affects any future elections in Thailand if parties can't decide what they want to campaign on and let the people vote on. And the current party leader said the court's ruling may impact on the relationship between the parliament and the constitutional court in the future and cause widespread confusion about the democratic system with the king as the head of state. And it says he questioned the court's ruling, which bars the party from expressing views verbally, in writing, in publication or in advertisements on Lèse Majesté law. And he asked the question, does it mean that from now on the party, the media, academics or the should be general public cannot express their views on Article 112? So the Constitutional Court's finding really causes more questions than answers. It still puts the future of the Move Forward party in some sort of twilight zone, and we're only going to really find out how far people can ask these questions about Article 112 and question the role of the head of state of Thailand until, well, they actually do so in the future. Thursday here on TNT. Thank you very much for dropping in and finding out what's happening around Thailand. And a big thanks to 5 Star Marine for a bespoke chartered tour off the island of Phuket into Phang Nga Bay. And we're still coming to you from Chip Fair Lele. Now, yes, the Christmas tree is still here. I'm just trying to keep it out of frame because it is getting a little bit silly. Or they could be getting ready for Christmas 2024. Who knows? Let's go to this next story, and reported by the patianews.com, and they say the Thai cabinet considers new alcohol measurement methods for drivers, urine tests proposed by the Royal Thai Police. And the RTP are proposing a draft ministerial regulation issued under the Traffic Act, adding a new method of alcohol content measurement. And previously, the police would ask drivers to blow into an alcohol meter to measure alcohol content. If a blood test was required, the drivers had to give consent. Now, I've been driving in Thailand for, well, nearly 13 years. It'll be 13 years in about, well, next month actually. And I've only done one alcohol test on the side of the road where they ask you to blow into that tube. And in response to preventing road accidents from drunk under the influence and the drivers refusing to cooperate with police, the RTP proposed a bill adding body fluid tests such as urine as an alcohol content measurement after petitions to relevant agencies for a new regulation. But the police might draw an assumption to investigate further and perform alcohol content tests at a hospital. And then at the bottom there, they're still saying that the blood alcohol level will remain at 50 milligrams, and that's basically the old 0.05% of alcohol content. So the police trying to get some more powers to actually conduct urine tests, for example, on people they suspect to be drunk under the influence and have, well, obviously already passed a breath test on the side of the road. Going to our next story from cowsodenglish.com, and a British man who took a minor for indecent acts in Phuket is arrested in Chiang Mai. You might be a bit shocked when you find out how long ago this was. And Chiang Mai police arrested a Mr. Tyler, 38, a British suspect of taking a minor for sexual activity 10 years ago. And they've handed him over to the Geelong police station in Phuket. And Mr. Tyler, whose name is variously spelt incorrectly during the article, is accused of taking a minor above the age of 15 but under the age of 18 from his father, mother, guardian or caretaker without reasonable cause. It says that Tyler's lived in Thailand since 2014, where he was teaching at an international school in Phuket. And during that time, he escorted a 16-year-old foreign female student from that school to do indecent acts at a residence in Chalong. Apparently it happened twice. The first occasion was on December the 9th back in 2014. And when the girl's parents and the school learned about the incident, the school conducted an investigation and terminated the British man's teaching contract. The mother waited for her daughter to finish her education in Thailand first. She then reported the incident to Geelong police investigators, who proceeded to charge Tyler. Then the immigration police investigated found that he'd moved to live with his Thai wife in Chiang Mai since 2016. They arrested him and took him to Geelong police station. When it says they took him, it would have obviously had a flight involved. Going to our next story now, back to the BangkokPost.com, and Bangkok land prices set for a record. And the land price per square wah in Bangkok is expected to reach a new record high of more than 4 million baht for a plot on Planchit Road owned by the Sukason family, being purchased by Central Group. So without going into exactly what a square wah is, let's look at the comparisons. And the spokesperson, and they say after the former British Embassy on Wireless Road was sold at an average of 2 million baht per square wah in 2018, some developer approached the landlord of this plot to buy it, but the landlord did not sell. And how big is a square wah? There you go, 4 square metres. I'm not into real estate, but that does indeed sound quite expensive. And the Research and Communication Director at property consultant Colliers Thailand said for prime locations, leasing lands or joint venture development on lands were new models as landowners are hesitant to sell their plots. He said land in the central business district remains attractive to developers despite high asking prices for land or rent. And plots in prime Sukhumvit zones were purchased at 2 million baht per square wah for most transactions, with prices rising 10% annually. And in the Tonglo area, some deals closed at 2.86 million baht per square wah, marking a new record high. And the record for land prices per square wah remain the plot on Saracen Road for 3.9 million baht, purchased by Sansiri in 2020. So clearly Bangkok property prices starting to really rise, certainly around the CBD areas like Sukhumvit. And speaking about the owners of some of the prime plots of land around Thailand, we go to the Bangkok Post again, and Air Force loath to surrender golf courses. And the Air Force has opposed a movement pressuring it to hand back 2 land plots currently used as golf courses to the government for conversion into public parks. Yes, a lot of the Thai military do own big plots of land that have been turned into commercial activities. More about that later. And a Move Forward Party MP for Pathum Thani has asked the Air Force to give up its Hantarat golf course straddling the area between the runways of the Don Meuang Airport and a golf course up in Pathum Thani as well, hand them back to the government. The Air Force have responded by saying in no way has the golf course caused a problem to the runway of Don Meuang, and there has not been a single incident in which a stray golf ball has hit an aircraft. Yes, I do remember those days when I used to land at Don Meuang Airport. These days it's still being used mostly by budget airlines. But indeed, if you landed on the Eastwood runway, you'd have to cross over the golf course and head to the terminal. And you could see the golfers there either side flinging their golf balls around. But apparently there's been no incidents. And the campaign drumming up support for the proposed transfer of the 2 Air Force golf courses to the government began last Thursday when the Move Forward Party MP asked the House of Representatives to set up a special House committee to study the possibility of turning the golf courses into public parks. So how much land does the military actually own? Well, according to the MP, the Air Force, that's just the Air Force, not the rest of the military, owns 155 plots of state land nationwide and a combined space of 235,000 rai, while the Ministry of Defence owns 4.59 million out of a total of 12 million rai of state land around the country. Well, It would be understandable, he said, if all these plots of state land are used for military training. However, in reality, it's unacceptable that some land was commercially developed, where hotels, petrol stations, horse racetracks, boxing stadiums or golf courses are located. Well, that's the reality. The military in Thailand do own a lot of prime land, and a lot of it's been turned into commercial purposes. Now, just to follow up to the story about the Russian rock band, what's happening with them? The latest from calsodenglish.com. Thai authorities will not send rock band BI2 to Russia if it's political. It says that the members of the Russian rock band BI2 were arrested at Phuket last Thursday because they did not have a work permit in Thailand. But if they have political reasons, they will not return them to Russia. And he explained that Phuket immigration police officers adhere to legal procedures. When it was discovered that these band members did not have a work permit, they were sent to the investigating officer for charges and then to the detention room at the immigration police office, and then transferred to the Immigration Detention Centre in Bangkok. And he stated that one of the 7 members of the Russian rock band had been deported to a third country, whilst the rest can seek assistance from the UNHCR. Those with dual nationality might apply to return to another country instead of Russia. So it does look like the situation's been diffused somewhat. It's unknown whether Thailand has already signed an extradition deal with Russia. Well, that one wasn't too hard to check. We went to TASS.com, reported back on the 11th of February 2022, Putin approves treaty on extradition between Russia and Thailand. It says the Russian president signed an agreement with Thailand on mutual extradition of individuals on the wanted list and criminally prosecuted, and to accept the proposal of the Russian government to sign a treaty on extradition between the Russian Federation and the Kingdom of Thailand. So it appears there is an extradition treaty. Let's go back to the Calson English article. In the case that they do not agree to return to their country of origin, according to their entry passports, they must coordinate with the third country. And then the article says, according to human rights principles, extradition is accepted in the case of political prisoners. Even if they are the offenders, the immigration cannot force someone to leave the country. And the authorities will let them apply to international agencies, as in the UNSCR or the International Organization for Migration, to become political refugees. And then under the human rights principle, they can be released on bail to live as a refugee, but with the condition of not being able to pursue a career or do anything that is against the laws of Thailand. So just reading between the lines there, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be forced to return to Russia. And that reported by calsodenglish.com. Thanks for watching today. Hopefully you're a bit more up to date with things happening around Thailand. Please subscribe to the channel. Big thumbs up to our sponsor, 5 Star Marine. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.